All right, here we are with Jeffrey Rastrelli. All right, Jeffrey, let's talk a little bit about it, man. Welcome to 2020, man.
Yeah, it's looking to be a great year, Rodney. Here at Club MX, just got done training with the Phoenix crew. It was just Hayden and Joel today. We had a lot of fun out there, throwing some motos down and messing off at their motos, getting some clips on the cameras and stuff. But man, it's been a good off season so far. I'm really excited to get going with this Phoenix Racing Honda crew and just get to Daytona and start clicking off good finishes, man. This has probably been the best opportunity I've ever had racing. I mean, with the deal that I've got and the potential that's there if I do well. So, it's all on me now. He took a lot of stress off my shoulders that I've had in the past with financial stuff on the four-wheeler side. Not like me financially, but like parts and different things like that, and race bikes and things, and just making it easier on me and we're here at Club, which makes it easier on all of us, not having to work on tracks and worry about where we're going to drive to ride that day and everything like that I've had to do in the past. So man, it's been great so far. I'm stoked.
Big changes. I mean, it is a huge change. I mean, you've always had kind of, a solid program, but the programs that you've ran in the past, for the most part, have been kind of a family-based program.
Yeah, for sure. It's been me, my mom, and my dad, on the financial side of it. And man, I had a few great years or 2 great years with Baldwin. I couldn't ask for anything more from that guy. I mean, it's a top-notch program. Anybody that goes there is going to have a bike they can win on, it wasn't the Baldwin fact that I switched. It wasn't like I wanted to leave Mark for any reason. It was more of just, on the financial standpoint, for how long can my parents keep paying for it? And I'm older, and I just, after last year being sick and whatnot, I looked at things a lot differently. I said, man, is this really worth it to race all year and put my body through it and not get anything out of it in the long run? Like not so much finishes and wins and things like that, but just financial standpoint and mentally and physically. Just after last year, I didn't think I was where I needed to be. Didn't want to be there at the end of the year, and that was a big turning point for me. And I looked at things a lot differently once that kind of happened, and David approached me, and that was the only way I could have went. I mean, if I didn't, then I was, unfortunately, my career is probably over for now, just because of where I was at mentally and physically after last year with just everything was going on with the Epstein Barr and just mostly that, but there's a lot of financial things with my parents and stuff too that they always had that monkey on their back that they had to cough up all this money every year, and my dad, of course, didn't ever mean to put any stress on me or anything like that ever, but when it comes to him, he's like, I've spent all this money each year, and you go and do, just stuff parents would do. He wasn't trying to stress me out or do anything like that to me. He was just trying to guide me, but it put stress on me in that way because, he always, and I had to listen to him kind of regardless because he was paying for my program, and it was, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to be saying that my parents, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. There's no doubt about it. But it comes to a point in a career where I think maybe you need to get away in that side of it, and they be fans like everybody else instead of being our pit crew too, and kind of being completely involved all day, because that was really tough, I think. Just like on the line, me and Dad would get an argument for no reason about something just because it's my dad. Just father-son bickering for no reason. But that stuff right before a moto, man, that's not the best thing you could be doing, So I just think going over here and having a mechanic and having somebody that's behind it instead of a family, I think it'll benefit me a lot in the long run, and it'll benefit me and my dad's relationship as well. Because he's not having to work his butt off as hard. I shouldn't say not working his butt off, because he still is, but it's actually going in his pocket instead of to my racing. So, and I just and I can't thank David Eller enough for the opportunity to come here, and I just can't explain the gratitude and how happy I am to be here at this amazing facility and and ride such an amazing machine and have such an amazing team. It's freaking crazy, man.
Did you know you can save up to 25% and receive free shipping on great AMSOIL products with their preferred customer program? AMSOIL also has special pricing arrangements and free shipping for commercial accounts such as trucking companies, loggers, landscapers, and businesses like yours. Or if you have a business and would like to begin selling AMSOIL products, you could qualify to participate in the AMSOIL retail account program. You could become an independent AMSOIL dealer and build and grow your own profitable businesses. For more information, call John Coffey, your full-service AMSOIL dealer, at 877-694-4763 and leave him a message. John Coffey and AMSOIL, your first call for synthetics.
BNR Motorsports Racing Engines and Suspension is a family-owned and operated business with over 15 years' experience working on motorcycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and snowmobiles. Striving to provide the best customer service, products, and prices around. Check out BNRMotorsports.com. The website has an extensive inventory of parts for the YFC 450RX, the Raptor 125, Can-Am, side-by-side, wheels and parts, and also shocks, shock parts, and springs, and more. That's BNRMotorsports.com.
Hi, this is Stephanie from JSR Moto Designs. JSR Moto Designs specializes in replacement Nerf bar nets for all makes and models that can be fully customizable to your needs. Our custom apparel can be specifically designed for your race team. We can help make what you wear personal on and off the track, including embroidered or printed hoodies, jackets, t-shirts, hats, jersey lettering, butt patches, and more. Check us out at jsrmotodesigns.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Quad Radio would like to say thanks to the D6 Ultimate Quad Series for their support and continued efforts in growing the sport at the grassroots level. Be sure and check them out on their Facebook page and show up at one of these great races. And Quad Radio also salutes the ATV UTV Championship. It's the New England ATV Championship Series. Be sure and log on to their webpage to find out more, as well as their Facebook page.
You mentioned the Epstein Barr.
Yes,
Let's talk a little bit about that. Some people know, and others don't, that last year was a struggle on a lot of different levels for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a real struggle, and we just talked about it just a minute ago about, at south of the border, how I could have took over the points lead for the first time in my career, and I went there and I had every chance to do so. I had to finish second behind Joel both motos, and I got second on both starts, and towards the end of the race I faded a little bit, and it wasn't bad, and I went home and I trained my butt off and went to the next round and it didn't do like I wanted to, so I went back and I trained even more, and as I went on I trained more and stressed myself out more because I wasn't getting the finishes that I wanted with how hard I was training and all I was doing. So I put more stress on myself mentally and even physically to do more physically, and then mentally I was kind of at a mental block because I was doing all this work that everybody says I always need to do. It's more work is what makes you win, and I agree with it my whole life, and I think I was putting myself in the hole every time I did more, which was weird because I was already sick and stressed myself out. If I would have just calmed down and regulated my training and regulated my riding instead of just pounding out motos and doing more, I should have just leveled out or even done less, and I would have got better, which is crazy about it. And I got blood tests taken. I think it was right before Redbud. We didn't get the results, or it was right before Unadilla, and I didn't get the results till right before Redbud. And I had Epstein Barr, and we just kind of went to Redbud. And that race, I did really well with my starts that I had. I don't know why I struggled on starts there, of all places, but I struggled on starts a little bit there. But my riding was better for sure. I ended up fourth, I think, that day, or I got fifth behind Wesley actually, because I actually came across him side by side over the finish line. The last lap, we were side by side. He just got me. But I felt better then, so I knew that whole year, if I would have just rested a little bit, that it could have been a whole different year for me. So now with my training and riding that I do, if I feel like I'm tired and I ride the bike that day and I feel fatigued, that I have to go home or go back in the rig, and I gotta take a break that day, because if I don't, I won't be good for the season. I mean, I just won't. I've done it every year. It seems like every year I start out strong, and I progressively, a little bit, get worse maybe at the end of the year. Like the Unadilla I always did good, but like the Red Bud Loretta's I was always a little off. But even before that, there was years where it happened mid-year, the 5th race, I started feeling like crap and never could recoup. So it's just, you hear a lot of things about like dirt bikes with, Ken Roxon. You'll hear it on the TV with Blake Baggett. They got it last year, and nobody really knew, and you had to do nothing. You had to kind of relax and not do much to come back. And then when you train and come back, you can't do too much, because it will always be with me, and it'll always come back. And just trying to regulate that, man. That's the main goal.
I mean, that's got to be difficult from a training aspect, because I mean, it goes against everything that you've ever had beaten into your head.
Absolutely. And my dad, he's the hardest working dude. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, don't get me wrong, but of course, your dad. I mean, many dads out there, the hardest working people I've ever seen. That guy he doesn't stop working. It's crazy, and it's just hustling all day, every day, and he's beaten that into my head since I was a kid. Like, it takes hard work to get where you want, and it does. But with me physically, if I do that, I go backwards. Like, I train, don't get me wrong, I train, I do what I gotta do, but when it gets to like that racing, I think more of the racing like time in the season, that I stress out mentally when I come home and don't win, because I put so much on the line, just like everybody else, and done it my whole life, and I believe I can win. I really thoroughly believe that, or I wouldn't still be here. So if I show up every race thinking that I can win, I don't, well, I'm stressed out, because I think I should have won, and I stress myself out thinking that I need to go faster for the next one and be stronger, so I go train more and ride more, and it puts me in a deficit. So that's the thing I gotta regulate the most, and it is tough. But I think now, as I'm getting older, I'm getting smarter, more technical, suspension, training, everything, that I don't feel like it's gonna affect me this year. I feel like, everything's gonna be easier for me now that I know that I have it, and that I know that I'm not crazy every time that I do start feeling like this. That nobody believes me. Like, kind of like, oh, well, why do you feel like that? Like, you shouldn't feel like that. You work your butt off. You eat right. And everything. But it's just what it is. Like, I can't be here and do everything Joel does. I just can't do it. My body physically does not allow me to do it. I'll shut down. So it's tough. But as I'm, like I said, older, and I think more wise, I guess they say, as you get older, you get better. So I think that's happening for me, mentally wise. And now it's just a matter of going out there and just applying everything and keeping myself on track, and not going off like I did before and go to train and stress myself out more. I just kind of got to regulate it. If I feel like I got tired at that race and it wasn't because I was a lack of training, then I just need to go home, relax for a few days, do light training in between races, and then go back and get at it. And I think I'll be real good.
Maturity has a lot to do with it. I guess you could call it experience over time, right?
Yeah, I think it's experience, and actually taking blood last year. Like, I specified to have Trent Hagen. He was the one that took the blood for me, and I specified. I said, Doc, I've been doing a lot of research. I said, can you test for Epstein Barr? And he tested for it, and it wasn't really high, but it doesn't have to be. When it's really high, I mean, I would have been real bad. I wouldn't have raced. So it was mediocre. So I was able to handle it with not riding the last few races. Like, in between, I was able to relax and kind of my body recoup a little bit, so I can go out and race again. But like, if I just don't allow myself to get there, now or in the season, then I'll be fine. I just gotta regulate it. That's the main thing. You
mentioned the battling with Nick Janusa and so forth a few moments ago, and Nick's he's getting seasoned in the pro class and stuff, but he's still a young talent when you look at the big picture. There's also a lot of other young talent that's coming in, and the young talent that is coming in are really some some might call them prodigy type kids, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, because
we're one of the best the class, class rookies or rookies the class has ever seen. I mean, Bryce Ford's good. Brandon Hogue was a rookie last year. Got his first podium. Was really good. Cody Ford got his first podium last year. You got, like I said, Bryce coming in, and then you got Stanfield and Geyer and some other guys coming in, But they say, I mean, like Bryce is really fast, and Brandon Hogue is really fast, and I think if they have it taken care of mentally, I think it'll be good, for them. I think they could do really well. It's not going to be a fact of speed or fitness for those two, I think. And Hogue shows that the guy doesn't get tired. He was my trainer last year, and nothing. I didn't stop training with him because we had a problem or anything. With Epstein Barr, I think I need to do what I need to do, and not follow a program, because if you follow a program, sometimes he'd be like, hey, why didn't you do that today? Well, I just didn't want to have to deal with that and just do my own thing. But he's a trainer. He beat me in Unadilla. The guy never got tired. He was steady the whole race. There's going to be some good guys, but I think the biggest part for a rookie or even a second year guy is going to be mentally be able to hold it together. If we're on them or past them, like put a nice block pass, not take them out or anything like that, but put a block pass on them. And when you do that, especially if it's the beginning of the race, there's going to be a caravan of people right behind us, and it happens fast. And I think it'll kind of break them mentally more than it will anything else. Like, I know how it was when I got in the pro class, or anybody else that's ever been in there, and even Brandon the first year. I'm even experienced it in his first podium race at Unadilla. Thomas knocked him off the track. Next thing you know, 4 of us were going by him, and it took him a little while to kind of recoup his brain and be like, hey man, all right, now get it back together and you can go back after these guys. If he can do that all year, he'll be really good, along with Bryce Ford. If we come in there and going past them or something, and there's 2 or 3 guys that are coming right behind us, they get past, it mentally screws you up. I don't care who you are. So I think they got that taken care of. Yeah, we're gonna have some good racing for sure with those guys. Bryce's speed shows, Brandon's speed showed this year. Not to count out Brogan or Stanfield or any of them, but if they get good hole shots, they'll be up there for a few laps. But I think that it's going to be a good year, man. A good year of battling, and I would like to get some more. Judas is there sometimes, but I'm not trying to knock him. But most of the time, there's the top 4. There's me, Thomas, Joel, and Chad that kind of separate from the group, and I think Janusa starts hinder him from being there with us all the time. And I would like to see more there. I mean, no one likes to see the same 4 guys go and finish top 4 every weekend. It's just not how I as a racing fan, to watch Supercross, you don't know who's going to win.
right.
So when you show up to a race at ATV MX, do we want to see the same person get the top 4 almost every time? No, I don't think. So it's going to be good for the sport for those guys to come in and try to get with us and make some racing interesting. And even Janusa, maybe stepping up, and hopefully he can get his starts down and be with us there every weekend, because he's got the speed and everything, and he's a real good friend of ours, and I think he can be there with us every weekend. Just got to figure out his starts. So, like I said, man, I'm just really looking forward to a good year. Those guys, I know if I'm healthy and I know where I need to be, with everything, the experience I got and the speed I know I have, if I can get the fitness and my body all aligned, like I did in, say, 2016 through 2018, had a good run there and didn't get sick. And I think if I could be that guy, I can win some races and be in the hunt for the championship title. And if not, at least, be there for second or third to finish better. Finished third in 2016 and haven't got that stat since. In 2017, I had that stat and ended up wrecking at Loretta's and raced the last 2 motos of the year. Really bad concussion. But, I just think that broke my back in 2018. So I think if I could put it all together, which I think as an older person, like last year, I stayed safe and I did really good all year. It's just the sickness is what got me. I was the healthiest that side I've been in many years. I didn't have any concussions. I didn't come off the bike, knock on wood. It was really good, and that sickness really got me. But yeah, man, like I said, I'll say it over and over again. This year's gonna be really good with the Phoenix crew coming in and making my life a heck of a lot easier and a heck of a lot more enjoyable. And to come here to your club and not have any worries to have to go groom my track or or to go to work with my dad for that day because he needs me real bad, and that stuff will hinder a top athlete. And I've experienced it for every year that I've ever raced. You know, if you don't make the money, you got to go to work. Well, I was able to be helped enough to not have to work this off season, and it's gonna be game on, I think.